Listen, we're frustrated. We've been playing so much better the last couple weeks, and played well against Iowa State on Saturday, and had some good moments in here. Had a lead there in the latter part of the game on the road against a good team. And then it just went sideways on us a little bit in a lot of different ways. We had some opportunities to convert on the free throw line and couldn't do it. Their pressure really impacted us, whether it was turning the ball over, which we had a number of those in bad situations. We hadn't been turning the ball over all game, but we had quite a few there that were spread around, and then we couldn't even get into action because of the pressure. So it was we kind of found ourselves on our heels, and they find a way to make a couple big shots to get that 2-possession lead there late. I was really proud that the guys kept playing and found a way to have a shot to tie it. That's pretty incredible to even be in that position when you're down 9 with hardly any time left in the game. So, proud of that. But we've been playing better. We had a really bad stretch there for the last 6-7 minutes of the game, but we can't let that affect us moving forward.
Dan, can you describe what happened there? It went so quick. What happened?
I knew there was time going down, and I had an open shot, and I knew maybe passing it up with no time left, that could have been our best shot, so I shot it, went in, and then Dede made a good play on the ball when it was coming off when they were giving inbound the ball, and he tipped it out, found it again, and shot it and made it.
Javon mentioned actually that he kind of missed his man. Were you surprised to have that much of an open look? I mean, it couldn't have worked out any better for you outside of drilling it.
I wasn't really surprised just because I know they're scrambling, trying to find their man at that moment, and there's not like a lot of time left, so a lot of people's minds can be all over the place. So I found it and I shot it. It went in, put us in a better position to win the game.
Wes, did you get the final shot, potential game-tying shot that you wanted? Is that the look you would like to have had, or any look you can take, you can take?
Yeah, I thought at that juncture, the way they review everything now, it's just timeout. They're just timeouts. So you get so much more opportunity with the way the referees now go to the monitors. It's like each coach, it's like extra timeouts you can diagram. So we did something simple because they're not a team that switches out of bounds or switches off the ball hardly at all on the year. But you don't know in that situation, 3 seconds, if they're going to adjust, and you look out and they got a bunch of guys that can switch and pass things off. So we had an action where all 4 guys were available, and there was a couple simple reads we needed to make, whether they were switching or not switching. I thought Tyler Betsy made a great second cut, and then Dede did a nice job finding them. And I don't think you can ask for a better shot than that from a really good shooter. But if any of the guys on the floor would have gotten a clean look in that scenario, I think we'd have been okay.
Coach, you dealt with foul trouble again for a second straight game. Josh Reed, Jizzle James. How much did that impact what you were trying to do late, and how frustrating is it that for a second straight game not being able to sub and do what you wanted to do kind of impacted the end of the game?
Yeah, I just said this on the radio. Then Keegan, you know this, man. I ain't ever going to be the guy that stands up and makes damn excuses. I ain't ever going to do it. Anybody that follows our program, it'll never happen. Okay, no matter how frustrated and pissed off I am, it ain't ever happening. Never going to make excuses. But I'll talk about challenges. So don't get the two damn things confused. Okay, I ain't making excuses. But yeah, Seamas not playing. Connor Hickman's been out for a long time. Those are 2 guys that were extremely important throughout our entire non-con, and really important to our offensive execution. So listen, we're in a 20. These are not freaking excuses. And anybody that writes or puts out a tidbit, put that damn part out. Okay, but in a 20 league game season, in 20 play dates, okay, in 20 games. So some leagues have played 20 games and played 2 before Christmas, and so they're playing 18 after. We play in 20. You're barely practicing. So what are you relying on? And you're relying on all the things that you put in the summer, the fall, November and December. Well, because we only played 11 non-con games from November to January, we had a ton of practice time. Well, during that time, Connor and CMOS are a big part. So that creates a challenge at this juncture in the season when we've been out, Connor's been away for a long time, we've adjusted. But then you lose a guy like CMOS that leads us in minutes played. That creates a challenge. And we had lineups out there tonight we haven't spent a lot of time practicing with. We have guys in places that, running our actions that, they've probably never been in. And, yeah, that has some effect, but it's not an excuse. Everybody's dealing with stuff this time of year, and that's just college basketball, and you got to be good enough to adjust. So I'll answer your question, yeah, it's a challenge. But, I'm sure every team in the country in February, especially in this league, has challenges.
CMOS day-to-day or week-to-week, what's his status right now?
Yeah, he's had ultrasound, an X-ray, and an MRI, and I'm no doctor, so I'm just the basketball coach. He's had all three of those things. Nothing points to being serious. CMOS is one of the toughest kids that I've ever coached in terms of injuries. I mean, literally got hit by a car a year and a half ago. Hit by a damn car and didn't sit out. I've seen him be in a lot of pain in play. Like, he's not that kind of a dude. Like, if he can play, he'll play. He's in some serious pain. And he's trying to go through shoot around. Couldn't even go through shoot around. So, from what the doctors say, it's day to day. But like that dude, if he could play, he'd play. And he pulled himself out of the Iowa State game in a 2-possession game. That should tell you how much pain he was in. Because there's no history of that with him. Some guys can tolerate stuff more than others. He's a guy that tolerates it as much as anybody I've coached. And so I'd like to say, but I'm worried because of how much pain he's in. That worries me, even though nothing showed up on the MRI, nothing showed up on the ultrasound, or nothing showed up on the X-ray.
What did they do different with Jizzle?
Jizzle's in foul trouble, Scott. So, that changed the game a little bit. When I thought we really found something with him in the ball screen there in the second half, and he even missed a couple that he doesn't usually miss. But the foul trouble really affected his play. And then again, they got down. We got to the free throw line, and they started getting really aggressive, throwing two at the ball. We haven't seen them do that a lot this year, but they did that. We probably didn't handle it great. I don't know if that was as big of a factor for us as just their pressure in the backcourt and their ball pressure, not letting us get into stuff. But that probably affected Jizzle a little bit. Like, we tried to throw two at small early in the game and to start the second half, and I thought that got the ball out of his hands a little bit. So, this level, when you throw two at the ball, guys got to move it, and I thought Jizzle did that. I thought Javon did that on the other side.
Coach, you talked about it a little bit there, but a lot of the conversation here was you guys are a different team than when West Virginia won in Cincinnati. Was there anything different about the Mountaineers? You notice anything different from this game to that game, and just any thoughts on West Virginia's on the bubble now and their turbulent prospects as an opponent?
No, I don't. I have respect for their team. Obviously, they kicked our tails in our own arena. That was a low point for us, just not because of the opponent, because of to lose a game the way we lost that game at home was a low point. And I thought since then we've kind of reset and played better basketball, even if we haven't won here the last two games. And I was really frustrated with that stretch when we have a lead in the second half. Other than that, we played pretty good basketball recently. But I have respect for them, just like I have for everybody in this league. But no, I don't have any evaluation of how they've. Again, they're doing a lot of the same stuff they were doing when we prepared for the first game, and they're a really good basketball team.
Coach, what's the message to your team down 9 with 17 seconds left? What's the message to them when they go and have those reviews, like you said, that are kind of like timeouts? What's the message to them?
Just talking about what we have to do next. And we practiced that stuff a ton this year. How to handle those situations. Down 9 with like 20-some seconds left. That you don't see a chance to tie the game in that scenario very often. So I was, like Dan said, he steps up and makes a big shot, you get a steal, make another, and then all of a sudden it's a different deal, right? But all those breaks in play just give you a chance to talk about the next thing. But we didn't do anything we hadn't really practiced. It was just honestly just preparing.
Last one. What's the message from here? More to play.
Game TCU on Saturday. Come on, yeah. So let's get ready to play. We played better here, guys. We're 3-2 of our last 5, and we've had chances to win both games on the road, quad 1 games. So there's a lot of basketball left. We're not in there's some bad BCS leagues. I ain't calling out other leagues. There's some bad leagues. There's some leagues where you don't have chances to build resumes and make statements. There's not a bad game in this entire league. Everybody in this league's really good. Every win's a good win. So we got another opportunity against a good team on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thanks.